Sujanar Budharadita Padajugam Yuga Dharma Durandara Patravaram Bolo Sujanar Budharadita Padajugam Yuga Dharma Durandara Patravaram Paradaya Dayaka Pujam Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Varadabhaya Jai Bolo Suja Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Bolo Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Bhajanorjita Sajjana Sangapatim Patitadika Karuni Kaika Gatim Gati Vanchita Vanchaka Chintya Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Ati Komala Kanchana Dirgathanum Tanu Nindita Hema Mrinala Madam Madanar Buddha Vandita Chandra Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhupada Padam Nija Sevaka Taraka Ranji Vidhum Vidudhahita Punkrita Singhavara Varanagata Balisha Chandapadam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam O Vipuli Krita Vaibhava Gaura Bhuvam Bhuvaneshu Vikirtita Gaura Dayam Dayaniya Ganarpita Gaura Padam Pranamami Sada Prabhu Pada Padam Shira Gaura Janashraya Vishwagurum Guru Gaura पदम् परमादृत भक्ति विनोद पदम् परमादृत भक्ति विनोद पदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपाद पदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपाद पदम् चिरघोरजनाश्रय विश्वगुरुं गुरुगोरकिशोरक दास्य परम् परमादृत भक्ति विनोद पदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपाद पदम् रूप सनातन कीर्तिधरम् धरणीतल कीर्तित जीव कविम् कविराजनरोत्तम सत्यपदम् कविराजनरोत्तम सत्यपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् कृपया हरिकीर्तन मूर्तिधरम् धरणीवरहारक गौरजनम् जनकादिक वत्सल स्निग्धपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपाद पदम् शरणागत किङ्कर कल्पतरुं सरुधिकृतधीरवदान्यवरम् वरदेन्द्रगणार्चित दिव्यपदम् वरदेन्द्रगणार्चित दिव्यपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् परहंसवरं परमार्थपतिं पथिकोद्धारणे कृष्णदेशयतिम् परहंसवरं परमार्थपतिं पथिकोद्धारणे कृष्णदेशयतिम् यतिराजगणै परिसेव्य पदम् यतिराजगणै परिसेव्य पदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् भानुसुतादय भानुचरण चरणाश्रितरेणु तरस्तमहम् कृष्ण भानुसुतादय भानुचरण चरणाश्रितरेणु तरस्तमहम् महदद्भुत पावन कतिपदा महदद्भुत पावन कतिपदा प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदा प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदा प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदा प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् प्रणमामि सदा प्रभुपादपदम् जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर जय भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर जय निताय जय गौर जय निताय जय गौर ओ जय निताय जय गौर जय निताय जय गौर जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद बोलो अद्वैत गदाधर शिवहरि गौर भक्तवृंद गोविंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे बोलो हरे हरे रामा राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गौर हरि Gaur Premanande. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Nityalila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Astatarasata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tadiya Tirobhav Maha Mahotsav Titi Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Srila Gaur Kishore Das Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Srila Sachidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur Ki Jai. Vaishnav Sarvabhaum Shri Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Gauri Vedanta Charja Baladevi Dubhusan Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shyamananda Prabhu Trai Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Das Raghunath Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Surup Damodar Rai Ramanandadi Gauru Parsad Brinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Gaur Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Jai Shri Navadvip Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Antar Dvip Mayapur Simanta Dvip Godrum Dvip Madhya Dvip Kola Dvip Ridu Dvip Jana Dvip Moda Druma Dvip Rudadipatmaka Shri Shri Navadvipadama Ki Jai. Jai Shri Vrindavan Dhama Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Dvara Shivanatmaka Shri Braj Mandala Dhama Ki Jai. Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Yamuna Ganga Tulsi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Govinda Radha Gopinath Radha Madan Mohan Jiu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda Radha Shyama Sundar Radha Raman Radha Damodar Jiu Ki Jai. Shrimati Lalita Vishaka Adi Ashta Sakhi Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Manjari Rati Manjari Adanga Manjari Adi Manjari Vrinda Ki Jai. Shrimati Brinda Devi Ki Jai. Shrimati Purnamasi Yogamaya Devi Ki Jai. Shri Gopishwar Mahadev Ki Jai. Sarva Bhishta Pradata Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Grantaraj Shrimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jil Ki Jai. Purushottam Kshetra Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Transcendental Janmastan of Srila Prabhupada Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Charodam Charo Sampradayo Chara Acharya Ki Jai. Bhakti Vigna Vinashana Shri Nrsinga Dev Ki Jai. Bhakta Prabhu Shri Prahlad Maharaj Ki Jai. Charodam Charo Sampradaya Charo Acharya Ki Jai. Akaramat Raj Akaramat Raj Shri Chaitanya Mat Ki Jai. Or Ananya Shaka Mat Samuha Ki Jai. Shri Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Pavana Harinam Samkirtana Ki Jai. Tribhuvana Mangala Harinam Prabhu Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Maha Mantra Ki Jai. Sachinandana Gaura Hari Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajan Ki Jai. Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Loud! Nitai Gaur Premanande. Thank you very much. So, Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Time on your phone.
5:15. 5:15.
Okay. You can maybe leave your phone so I can see the time. Oh, okay, that's even better. Look at how intelligent he is. That's because he's come in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pacharani Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarani Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikai Priyatmane Shrimad Bhaktivedanta Narayaniti Namani Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswaminiti Namani Namo Vishnupadaya Acharya Singha Rupane Shrimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswaminiti Namani Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namani. If you know these 4 shlokas, you can say them along with me. Shri Varshavana Videvi Dayataya Kripabdai Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhurya Ujjvala Premadhya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarane Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharane Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambudhe Padambujayate Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Guravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarva Bhauma Shri Jagannatayate Nama Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavebhya Namo 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 Mahabhadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Trishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulsi Debai Priyaye Keshavasyacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrind Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most worshipable beloved Gurudev Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtotarasata Sri Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, who was the transcendental servant, who is the transcendental servant of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and by his order he brought this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the whole world. Without Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's order, he would not have come. So we owe everything at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Everything, our whole life, our breath, everything we owe at his lotus feet. Because if he had not given that order, our Prabhupada would not have come. And the whole world would not be now realizing that there's this incredible movement called the movement of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There's a spreading all throughout the world, especially in India. Of course, it's natural that it will spread here, but it's actually spreading all over the world. So, and then I offer my same unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali to the lotus feet of my most worshipable Siksha Gurudevs Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtotarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj and Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Ashtotarasata Sri Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Offer my Dandavat pranams to the lotus feet of Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, his divine Gurudev, to the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, who brought him down from the spiritual world to take birth in Jagannath Puri. If he had not done that, he would not have come. So we offer our unlimited obeisances to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, to Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, to all the Rupanuga Acharyas of this Rupanuga Sampradaya coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I offer my Dandavat pranams, and my Dandavat pranams to all the glorious, fortunate Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are here in today's assembly and who are also watching online or will see online. So my Dandavat pranams to all. Today was a wonderful day for me. Do you know why? Today was a wonderful day because today, for the first time, I didn't realize that I had not read the 40 pages written by Srila Bhakti Ballabhatirtha Maharaj in this book about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I didn't realize it. I've read so many Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Maharajas and biographical information and so forth. But I never actually read this. And wow.
Is he only speaking about Srila Prabhupada?
Huh? No. This is all the associates of Mahaprabhu. You know this book.
Yeah.
But he's only speaking about Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. 40 pages.
Wow.
Yeah. And then after him, this is toward the very end of the book, because it's mainly the associates of Mahaprabhu. They're filling up the pages of the book. But toward the end, then the contemporary acharyas who have preached in this world, then he gives something about each of them. And for his Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Ballabhatirtha Maharaj, who is Bhakti Doyata Madhav Goswami Maharaj, he also has 40 pages. So anyway, the thing about it is that, my God, when you read the chronological history that he tells here of all the preaching that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati did. Of course, in the beginning he tells about his birth, his childhood, his education, his becoming this unbelievable astrologer who he received the title of Siddhanta Saraswati at the age of 15 only. And very great astrologers were coming to him all the time. Yes. Great astrologers were coming to him at that time, and they knew about him. Hey, sit. Saditas. No. Close. So Srila Bhakti Ballabhatirtha Maharaj, he very nicely presented Srila Prabhupada's preaching, and when you read it, you become astonished. How he preached, how he met so many exalted Vaishnava personalities, many exalted dignitaries, intellectuals. He names all of them. How he went from place to place to place the whole entire time. Of course, before Bhaktivinoda Thakur departed from this world, then he was mainly with Bhaktivinoda Thakur. But then after that, now he began his very incredible preaching mission. But what did he do to prepare himself for the preaching mission before he began to make this attempt to preach the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
Nam Yagya.
Yeah, what Nam Yagya?
10 years, 3 lakhs.
10 years. 1 billion? 10 billion? 1 billion.
1 billion names of Krishna. 3 lakhs per day, every day, for 10 years. He doesn't say that, the details of that in this book, but I've read in the other biographies of him, that at the end of that 10-year period, what happened? What happened at the end of the 10-year period? I ask you, do any of you know?
Mahaprabhu came
Yes, where?
in where Prabhupada was.
Where was he?
Jagannath.
Yes,
Yeah.
before Chaitanya Mat was started. It was Chandrasekhar Bhavan. That's where he was doing. But not only there, he did this 10 years in a number of places. But every day he was doing it. And then at the end of that yajna being completed, then Mahaprabhu himself, Nityananda Prabhu, Panchatattva, the associates, they appeared before him there. They appeared before him. And they gave him the instruction that now, do not worry for anything. Do not worry for where you will get the money, where you will get manpower, any of that. We will supply, we will arrange everything. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur began his preaching mission. I'll read just a little bit so you just get a little taste of this. Just to let you know that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he gave what? Harinam. He gave Harinam to the small boy.
And Kurma mantra.
Yes. So while Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Serampur, then he came back one day from a visit to Puri with tulsi beads. And he gave them to Bimala Prasad, that's Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's childhood name, who was a 7th grade student at the time, and he initiated him in the chanting of the holy name and the Nishringa mantra. And while he was in the 5th grade, the boy had invented a type of phonetic writing. He had invented when he was in 5th grade. What age are you when you're in the 5th grade?
10.
Like 10? In Indian? Okay. Yes. He invented a type of phonetic writing which he called Bikanto, or Vikrinti. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur then read to him at that time, when he gave him initiation, he read to him Chaitanya Sikshamrita, which is written by who? By Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Chaitanya Sikshamrita. You want to know what the teachings of Mahaprabhu are? Chaitanya Sikshamrita. You have to read that book. Chaitanya Sikshamrita. So, and then another incident took place where he received the worship of a particular deity, which was found when they were doing what?
They were digging the foundation of the temple.
Which temple?
In Chaitanya Mat?
No. No.
No.
No. In Kolkata.
Oh,
Yes. The Bhakti Bhavan. In Calcutta. So during the digging of the building's foundation, a deity of Kurma,
yes.
Kurma,
Yes.
was found. So, and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur taught his 7-year-old son the rules for worshipping a deity and the Kurma mantra. After which, Bimala Prasad started to regularly wear tilak to perform the deity's puja. So in 1885, then a center for publishing Vaishnava literature, which was named the Vaishnava Depository, it was opened at Bhakti Bhavan. So from that time, the boy started to gain experience with the printing press, because they had a printing press there. And he helped with proofreading and other tasks. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur also resumed publishing his monthly magazine. You know what that was named? Sajjan Toshani. And later it was renamed, and it was published in English later as what? The Harmonist. Yes. So he also traveled with his father to many of the Shripats of some of Mahaprabhu's associates, such as Kulinagram, Saptagram, where he heard his father lecture on the doctrines of the holy name. So, How did he receive the title Siddhanta Saraswati? I mentioned it, but there's a little section here. It's nice to hear this. See, the thing about Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is he showed such amazing qualities in his childhood and such incredible intelligence. But at that time it was manifesting through mathematics and through astrology. And he became the topmost in those two areas. So, when Bimala Prasad was a 5th grade student, he began to show a natural talent for mathematics and astrology. And he went to study the astrological texts with the great scholar Mahesh Chandra Chudamani from the Siakala village on the Tarekeshwar railway line. You know where that is, all of you? You ever been there? I'm just joking. In a very short time, he mastered the arts of calculating astrological charts, okay? Later, he went on to advanced studies of astrology with Alloy resident Sundara Lal Pandit. So Chudamani Mahashai was astounded by the talents of the 15-year-old boy. So from this young age, he was called Sri Siddhanta Saraswati by his teachers. And after taking sannyas in 1918 when he took sannyas, then he took the name of Paribrajakacharya Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He kept the Siddhanta Saraswati. At other times he identified himself as what? As who? As Varshabhanavi Doyata? Varshabhanavi Doyata Das. Say that. Varshabhanavi Doyata Das. That's his name from who? His guru, Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. Okay. Then there's another little thing here about the World Vaishnava Association. It says here that in 1885, after the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur formed the Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha, or known in English as the World Vaishnava Association. He formed that in 1885, quite early on. So at the home of Ram Gopal Basu in Krishna Singh Lane, which is today known as Betune Row, the association organized the 400th anniversary celebration of Mahaprabhu's appearance the following year. Some of its well-known members were, and here we go with the list. I'm telling you, in every single place where he's gone, he tells the names of the people who were involved. They're all great scholars, great Vaishnavas, very highly put. Some kings, some princes, like royalty, different dignitaries from the government, everything. Even British people came to see him. So many British people came to see him as the time went by, because he became so well known, and his astonishing lectures and his books were coming out. And they were also publishing his books with his English. We still have them now. You can buy in the Gaudiya Math. His English, what he spoke to the English people who came to him, he didn't speak Bengali to them, he spoke English to them. So they had the disciples, they had a system of taking notes. Okay? It's not so easy to take notes when you don't have a thing called a tape recorder, like we have now. It's not easy to take notes. Okay? It's to keep up with the person who's speaking. So do you know what they did? The disciples, they made a team of 3 persons. 3 of the disciples. First disciple would write the beginning of his statement, the second disciple would write the middle, and the third disciple would write the end of it. Because a lot of times his sentences were quite long, like that. Yes. So amazing. Anyway, I'm just reading a few. I'm not going to read so many of these names. But here's the names of the persons who were there at the 400th anniversary celebration of Mahaprabhu's appearance. And what are their names? Madan Gopal Goswami, Nilakanta Goswami, Vipin Bihari Goswami, Radhika Nath Goswami, Shishur Kumar Ghosh. Sri Saraswati Thakur attended the association's weekly meetings every Sunday in the company of his father, and he carried his father's copy. His father's copy of what book? Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Yes, Rupa Goswami. He would listen attentively to the discussion of scripture which took place at these meetings. So, what happened in the course of time with Srila Prabhupada and his education, his going to the schools, then to the university and so forth? What happened? While Saraswati Thakur was a student, he never mixed with children who were ill-natured. No. Thus, from his very early life, the determination to avoid asat sangha and to associate exclusively with genuine saintly persons was evident in his character. In the early years of high school, he spent more time studying astrology and Vaishnava scriptures than the prescribed curriculum. In fact, he had a hard time maintaining interest in his school's textbooks. He felt it was unnecessary to even touch these books. Once outside the school grounds, he wouldn't even touch them. His reading material consisted mainly of Narottam Das Thakur's Prarthana songbook, of his Prem Bhakti Chandrika, and the books written by his father, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Now, you know, when he was in school, he formed an assembly amongst his students, amongst his fellow students, So while he was still a student, Saraswati Thakur published the book Surya Siddhanta and also Bhakti Bhavana Panjika. He published these two, and other books related to astrology. So, in the afternoons, he would go to Calcutta's Bidan Square and engage in debate with other students about religion. Yes, other students would come with him. So therefore, in 1891, this debating society took the name the August Assembly. You know what that means? Most people don't know, because it's old British English.
Yes.
August. It doesn't mean the month of August. It means, how would you say? Like full of dignity, full of, very high level interaction and behavior, full of great enthusiasm, the August Assembly, amongst his students. And guess what? That's the name of they had their little debating society. They debated, right? So the August Assembly and all its members, and how old was he? This is 1891. He's born in 1874. What's that?
17 years.
No. 1874. 1884, he's 10 years old. Then you're right. 17 years old. So all the members of this society, they took the vow to never get married. Why? Because they were with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Yes.
Did they follow the vow? I heard that practically none of them did. Only he did. But just see, by his divine exalted association, he inspired them like that. You see. So, people of all ages, including many highly educated and respected members of society, they would attend this assembly's meetings. So, then, what happened at the Sanskrit college? The Sanskrit college that he went to. In 1892, Saraswati Thakur was admitted to the Calcutta Sanskrit College. And there, once again, instead of studying the books which were on the curriculum, he started systematically reading all the books in the library. What we heard is that he learned thoroughly, top to bottom, the English language just by reading the dictionaries and the books. So incredibly intelligent. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur could remember every word on every page that he ever read in his life. Do you know that? Have you heard that before? Yes. He could remember every word of every page that he read throughout his life. What incredible personality. So other than the college hours, he spent most of his time studying the Vedas with the scholar who was named Prithvidhara Sharma. And a few years later, in 1898, when teaching Sanskrit at the Saraswat Chatushpati in Bhakti Bhavan, he studied Siddhanta Kaumudi with the same Prithvidhara Sharma, and in a brief period he went through the entire text. Prithvidhara Sharma advised him to devote his life to the study of Siddhanta Kaumudi. That's a study for astrology literature, right? But Saraswati Thakur disagreed with him. What was he telling him to do? To devote his life to the study of what? Astrology. But Saraswati Thakur disagreed with him, saying that the human life was meant for what? For worshipping the Supreme Lord, and not for studying grammar manuals with their verb roots and conjugations, not for reading mundane poems. So that's what happened in his college. So now, finally, while studying at the Sanskrit college, Saraswati Thakur also came into public disagreement with the opinions of a student of the renowned scholar from Kashi, Bapudev Shastri, and with the professor Panchanana Sahityacharya. He came into some difference of opinion. So we can see parallels in the life of Saraswati Thakur and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For Saraswati Thakur first engaged in the delights of study and debating during his student life, but then he turned to exclusively chanting and preaching the holy names. So in his autobiography, there's an autobiography that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wrote about his life. He wrote, "If I go on to study at the university, then my family will inevitably harass me terribly to get married."
Oh, yes.
If he goes on to study at the university. So on the other hand, if I present myself to the world as a useless fool, no one will try to interest me in that kind of life. So this was the reasoning that led me to quit the Sanskrit college. I then started looking for an honest means of making my livelihood with minimum effort, so that I could lead a life of devotion to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, then what happened? He took a job. It was not so difficult for him to get a job. Why? Because he's the most brilliant person. So it came about that in 1895, Saraswati Thakur took a job with the royal family of Tripura. Where's Tripura?
Next to Assam.
Next to Assam. Okay? And at that time, this Tripura was an independent state, actually. So he was engaged as associate editor of the royal family's history, which is called Raj Ratnakara. So that's what he was engaged in, to write the family history, right? So while there, he had the opportunity to study many important books, which were held in the royal library.
Was it also that with the boy he had to teach his son?
He had to what?
He had to teach the son of the king? Was it the king?
No, that's coming, that's here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Not such as young, but teenage,
Yeah.
you know. So while he was there at the family's royal palace, he had the opportunity to study many important books held in the royal library. So when the king, Virachandra, he left this world on December 11th, 1896, then Radha Kishore Manikya Bahadur, who was placed on the throne. So the new king engaged Saraswati Thakur as the Sanskrit and the Bengali tutor for the crown prince. That's what you were asking. His name was Vrajendra Kishore. Later he sent Saraswati Thakur to Kolkata with various responsibilities. And when Saraswati Thakur expressed a desire to permanently leave the employ of the royal family in 1905, then the king gave him a full pension Yes, equal to the salary which he had been earning. And Saraswati Thakur received this pension until 1908. Now, Saraswati Chatushpati, in 1897, the Saraswat Chatushpati Sanskrit School was established at the Bhakti Bhavan. That's in Calcutta, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's place in Calcutta. So many educated and many important people came there to study astrology, including, here's the lists, like I tell you, including Lala Hara Gauri Shankar, Dr. Ekendranath Ghosh, M.B., Satakari Chattopadhyaya, Siddhanta Bhushana, Shamlal Goswami, the noted scholar of the Nityananda Prabhu family, Sharat Chandra, Jyotir Vinod, etc. And from the Saraswat Chatushpati, Saraswati Thakur published the monthly magazines Jyotirvid and Brihaspati, as well as many ancient astrological works. So also he went on pilgrimages with Bhakti Vinod Thakur in those earlier years. In 1898, in October, Saraswati Thakur set off on a pilgrimage with Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, during which they visited Kashi, Prayag, and on the way back they visited Gaya. And while in Kashi, he met Ram Mishra Shastri, with whom he discussed many aspects of the Ramanuja Sampradaya. On this occasion also, Saraswati Thakur began to show the spirit of renunciation which ran throughout his life. So hear this now. This is the starting of his spirit of renunciation. Starting in 1897, he had begun to follow the rules of Chaturmasya, according to the Vaishnava scriptures. He would cook Havishyana. You know what Havishyana is? It's simply boiled food without salt or spices. Okay? Boiled. He would cook that himself during the whole Chaturmasya, which he would eat directly off the floor without using a plate, and he would sleep on the ground without a pillow. Can you do that?
No.
Can you do that? Can you do that? Anyone? Anyone here want to raise your hand and volunteer to do that? Huh? Just not eating with a plate, none of us could do that. But that's the rule for Chaturmasya in the Hari Bhakti Vilas and Vaishnava scriptures. In fact, you don't even use your hands.
Yes.
You eat like a cow.
Yes.
Okay? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was very, very austere. Okay? So powerful personality. And then he also investigated the Sri Sampradaya. And you know that the Sri Sampradaya is the Sampradaya of which Acharya? Ramanujacharya. And Ramanujacharya, in that Sampradaya, they are under who? Lakshmi.
Yes.
Lakshmi Devi. There are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas. Brahma, Shiva, Lakshmi, and 4 Kumaras. And there are 4 Vaishnava Acharyas. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati began to, and he did this with all 4 of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, as I was reading today. He deeply studied every single Sampradaya, their history, the books written by their Acharyas, and so forth. But he started with the Sri Sampradaya. And do you know that his his establishment of his sannyas, when he took sannyas, at that time, this Vaishnava sannyas was not going on. Not in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. But he established it. He established, based upon the Ramanuja Sampradaya. He read all of theirs and he based it upon that. And then he had the Tridanda sannyas, not the Ekadanda sannyas. So the Tridanda sannyas was taken by him. Why? Why did he introduce sannyas? Sannyas is part of the Varnashram Dharma, yes? But why would he introduce sannyas? Why didn't he just follow like most of the Goswamis and all? They just wore like Babaji Vesh, like this. But he introduced sannyas. Why? Because,
Separate from the Sajias.
to what?
Separate from the Sajias, is that correct?
From the what?
Separate from the Sahajiyas.
Oh, the Sahajiyas. Well, the main reason was because he wanted to introduce what is called what? Daivi Varnashram Dharma. We are in that. I remember we were with our Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, one time in Hawaii. And he was on his morning walk. And then he stopped. And then we began to talk with him. And he said, "Are you in Varnashram Dharma? Are you in Varnashram Dharma?" And so, devotees were not so certain what they should answer. Yes, no, like that. So some of them were even saying, "No, we're not in Varna." No, you must be in Varnashram Dharma. But Daivi Varnashram. Not the Varnashram Dharma of the previous thousands of years. Then there could be regular Varnashram, Varna and Ashrama. But Daivi Varnashram means Ashram Dharma. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. There must be this in human society for their spiritual advancement. But to train according to the Varna, like Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that's not possible now at this time. Maybe in the future, after all the destruction is over with, all the cities are gone and all the like that. Then in the very near future, by the way, I'm not going to talk about it, but it's coming very soon. Destruction after destruction and war and everything is coming. So, but that's all arranged by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after that, Srila Prabhupada talked about this in 1975 here in Mayapur. First time that I came to India in 75, after 5 years of praying and praying, please bring me to the Dham. So finally I'm here with Prabhupada. Prabhupada's on his morning walk, and that's when he began to talk about the Third World War. He began to talk about that in the near future there will be a great war. So like that. So we don't fear anything. You know why? Why? Why don't we fear anything? Death, changing the body. Are we afraid to do that? Are we afraid? Huh? Are you afraid? Oh yeah? Are you? No. There's a thing called Sharanagati. You know that word? Say it.
Sharanagati.
What does that mean? It means surrender. When you surrender, you don't maintain any of your own rights and privileges. You're surrendering to Krishna. He's the Lord. He's the Master. He's the designer of everyone's life. He is in your heart. He knows what is good for you. Does anybody else know what is good for you? Does your wife, your husband, your children, your family members, No. No one knows. Only Krishna knows. And only Krishna knows what He's going to arrange in each one of our lives. So, therefore, 6 limbs of Sharanagati are there. 6 different limbs, doing everything favorable for Krishna Bhakti, rejecting everything unfavorable for Krishna Bhakti. What is that verse? Yes, anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulya vivarjanam rakshishya titi vishvasa. Do you know what that means? Raksha. Raksha means protector. Rakshishya titi vishvasa. Vishvasa means complete, absolute conviction that Krishna is my only protector. No one else can protect me except Krishna. Then, goptritve varanam tata. This is the central of the limbs. Just like we have 6 limbs, head, 2 arms, 2 legs, and a torso. So, this is the torso of Sharanagati, is goptritve varanam. So, varanam means to embrace. So my Siksha Guru Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj used to say, we have to learn to embrace the guardianship of the Lord. The guardianship means goptritve, that he's our gopta, he's our maintainer, he is our guardian. So that is the central limb of bhakti, of Sharanagati. And guess what? Can you get into pure bhakti? Can you enter this pathway called pure bhakti, uttama bhakti, anyavilashita shunyam, jnana karmadya navritam, anukulyena krishnanushilanam, bhakti ruttama? Can we enter that without Sharanagati? Is it possible? Can we sidestep Sharanagati? No. No. Atmani Vedanam. And what? Humility. Goptrude Varanam Tata Atmanikshepa Karpanya. So Atmanikshepa means, actually Srila Sridhar Maharaj said it's more emphatic than Atmanivedanam. You know, Atmanivedanam, to offer oneself to the Lord. And Atmanivedanam means what? It means, what does Atma mean? What is the word Atma in this context?
Soul.
Only soul? Can I see your soul? Can you see mine? No. But what can you see? You can see the body. Can you see the subtle body? No. But we can perceive it. Atma Nivedanam means to fully give oneself to the Lord. But the term Atmanikshepa is more emphatic than just offering yourself, giving yourself. What does that mean? Atmanikshepa, it means to hurl yourself towards the Lord. To hurl yourself. So like this. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was the most surrendered person. He taught everything by his own example. How to live the life of pure devotion. Yes, so, yeah. So I was talking about him studying the Ramanuja Sampradaya, and then he took sannyas. And that was in order to introduce. Now what does that mean? Sannyas, it means that you're taking a lower position. Lower position than who? Than the Rupanuga Acharyas. They are on the topmost level. And to worship them with humility and full surrender, he introduced this sannyas, because sannyas is within Varnashram Dharma. So, but from his time, all of the Western and also Gaudiya Math, they are following this Tridandi sannyas. All right, so the first encounter with his guru. So where did he meet his guru? Bhaktisiddhanta. Who is the guru of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati? Thank you. Where did he meet him?
In the woods, no?
Huh?
In the woods.
In the woods? No. I'll give you a hint. He met him here in Navadvip. But where? At the house of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Across the Jalangi. This is Jalangi here. Across the Jalangi. At Jalangi, at Swananda Sukhada Kunja. Then Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji used to come there to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So he became very attracted. Bhaktisiddhanta became very attracted. Now here in this book he doesn't give so much of a description, but I've heard it many times and read it from biographical books of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, that he approached Gorkishore Das Babaji, and because Bhakti Vinod Thakur also encouraged him, you should approach him. And he was very awed by Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji. But Gorkishore Das Babaji, you know, he was illiterate. Whereas Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was what? Not just in the whole entire earth planet. He was probably the most literate, intelligent, incredible personality on the whole earth planet. Okay? But Gorkishore Das Babaji was what? What was he? He was on the topmost level. Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasam Buddhi Padam Bujayate Namaha. He was a Rasa Ambudhi. That means an ocean of the rasa of what? Vipralamba Bhav. Vipralamba. He was on the highest level of worshipping Srimati Radhika. What was the song?
Kotai Gokul.
Kothai ko prema.
Yes. Kotai go premamai radhe radhe. And Gorkishore Das Babaji was singing this. And this song was sung by who? Raghunath Das Goswami. You see. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, at that time he was Vimala Prasad, he hadn't been initiated yet. When he approached to Gorkishore Das Babaji, then Babaji Maharaj said, no, you are a very high-level scholar, and you have this vanity, you have this ego of, I'm very high, I cannot give to you. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was practically crushed, but he went back to Bhaktivinoda Thakur and told him, Babaji Maharaj told me he won't give. Then you go again. And then if he doesn't give, then you go again. And then if he does it, then you go again. So finally, after a couple of times, because the next time that he came, then Gorkishore Das Babaji said, all right, okay, I will ask my Gauranga. I will ask him for permission if he is giving me the permission to give you initiation. So then he went away, came back the next day. What did your Gauranga say? Oh, I forgot to ask him. One thing after another. Finally, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati came before him, and he was completely bereft. He was weeping and weeping, fell at his feet and begged him, please accept me. And then Gorkishore Das Babaji said, yes, I was testing you. And now I see that you are the appropriate person to preach this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in that way, he became the only disciple of Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So in that way, this is still in the earlier period. On January 2nd, 1903, then Saraswati Thakur engaged in a debate with an accomplished student of Bapu Dev Shastri, a professor at a Sanskrit college, and he was an instructor to a very prominent astrologer. Rai Bahadur Rajendra Chandra Shastri, the president of the Royal Society, presided over the debate in which Saraswati Thakur, if you listen to this one, in this debate, Saraswati Thakur defeated his opponent so badly, this very exalted scholar. And he defeated him. He was in shock. And he passed stool and urine in the assembly out of shock. How about that?
Krishna.
Now, his vow to chant 1 billion names, holy names, while staying in Mayapur in 1905. That's when he started, 1905. Saraswati Thakur began preaching the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he began following in the footsteps of Sri Haridas Thakur. And he undertook a vow of chanting 1 billion, 10 crores of holy names, chanting a minimum of 3 lakhs every single day. Then, in 1906, Rohini Kumar Ghosh, the nephew of Justice Chandra Madhava Ghosh, had an extraordinary dream telling him to go to Saraswati Thakur and to take initiation from him. So Rohini Kumar Ghosh thus became the first initiated disciple. That was in 1906. Then in 1909, Saraswati Thakur had a cottage in Vrajapatan. Vrajapatan is the Chandrasekhar Bhavan, where the Chaitanya Mat is. That was called Vrajapatan. So, he had a cottage built on the site of Chandrasekhar's house, where he continued to engage in his vrat, visualizing himself on the banks of Radha Kunda. That's why there is Radha Kunda there at Chaitanya Mat and Shamakunda. Now there was a crisis that arose for the Vaishnava world in 1911. And the Smarta Brahmins were engaged in a very concerted attack on the Vaishnava religion and its acharyas. That was what was going on. They were attacking. Those who claimed that they were descendants from Advaita Acharya and other associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they had taken the side of the Smartas. You know what Smartas are? Smarta Brahmanas? Huh? Do you know?
There was
By
a...
birth?
Huh?
Birth?
Yeah.
By birth?
Not only by birth, but there's following what? Smriti. That's why they're called Smarta Brahmanas. But they are not Vaishnavas. Many of them are not at all Vaishnavas. So these Smartas had taken the side of the Smartas, these devotees, had taken the side who came in the different lines of Advaita Acharya. They had taken the side of the Smartas in the hope of extracting some advantage from that alliance. What's that called? Advantage? Yes. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur was performing pastimes of illness at that time. And so when an assembly of hundreds of scholars and pundits, it was called in Midnapur in Baligai village to debate all these issues. And he sent Saraswati Thakur in his place. So in the debate, which was presided over by Vishwambarananda Dev Goswami, Vrindavan scholar Madhusudan Goswami invited him to speak. Then Saraswati Thakur read an article and gave a discourse on the distinction between Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, which completely destroyed the arguments of the materialistic karmi smartas. So there's a book. It's actually, we can get it in English also. It's called Brahmins and Vaishnavas. And that's the lecture, expanded a bit, by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And the way that it went is that these smartas were trying to say that the Brahmins are higher than the Vaishnavas. So they were given the first opportunity. And the Brahmins, from morning till evening, they began to describe and quote so many shlokas from the Vedas and here and there that the Brahmins are above the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas are in lower position. But then, now his name, because he was initiated by this time, so Varshavanavi Dayata Das, now he came there in the assembly. But he was known by all as Siddhanta Saraswati because of his title, his astrological title. He was known as Siddhanta Saraswati. So in that debate, the next following day, it adjourned, and they gave the chance for this personality, Siddhanta Saraswati, to speak. And what did he speak on? First of all, he glorified the Brahmins. And they were all sitting there. Just silly. But then halfway through the day, he switched to glorifying the Vaishnavas. And now their lips did not curl upwards, but they curled downwards, because he began to utilize all the different shastras, everything, to prove without a shadow of a doubt that all the Vedas declare that the Vaishnavas are in the supreme position, and all Vaishnavas, if they're really Vaishnavas, they're automatically Brahmanas. And he gave all these arguments. You can read the whole book and see all of his arguments. So then at the end of that day, he adjourned at the end of the day. And then the audience, there were thousands of people there. They had like a big pandal, and great scholars. They all pushed forward to get dust from the lotus feet of this Siddhanta Saraswati, the son of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, And therefore, and then the police or the watchmen, they decided that this is going to be a riot. All these people are pushing for, hundreds of people. So they took Saraswati Thakur and they took him in the back, and they had like a big, huge, like a trough, like the size of the trough of water you give to horses or cows to drink. and they filled it with water, and they lifted him up and they put his lotus feet into that. And then they began to distribute this to all the people there. And they were so happy to get some drops of water from the lotus feet of Prabhupada. So gradually, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he departed from this world, and then also Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he also departed from this world. And now in March 7th of 1918, okay? So on the occasion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day, Saraswati Thakur took Tridanda Sannyas in Sri Mayapur as per the Vedic tradition. And although as an eternally perfected soul he had already achieved the goals of the renounced order, he took this step in order to preach the gospel of Lord Chaitanya everywhere without restriction, to crystallize the conception of the Daiva Varnashram social system, and to demonstrate the transcendental character of the Paramahansa Babaji dress taken by his gurus, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, Sachidananda Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. So on that same day, he consecrated the deities of Guru Gauranga and Radha Govinda at the house of Chandrasekhar Acharya, and he established the Sri Chaitanya Mat. So the Sri Chaitanya Mat became the headquarters for the branch Gaudiya Mats all throughout the world, and the flagship of which is situated in Kolkata. So at the end of March, Saraswati Thakur gave an exhaustively researched lecture on Vaishnava philosophy in the Krishnanagar town hall. And in May, he went to Daulatpur and other places to deliver Harikatha. So now, from this point, now he's attracting so many people and giving lectures everywhere. And it just goes on and on, all the different places that he visited, how he preached everywhere. And he would silence like in August and September of 1918, a spokesman for a group of atheists with very little philosophical knowledge, they sent a list of 29 questions challenging the Vaishnava's faith and its acharyas. Saraswati Thakur silenced these critics with answers based on scriptures. And the questions and his answers were published in the name Pratiper Prashnere Pratyuttara Rupe, which means answering the enemy's questions. So, the first Gaudiya Mat. Do you know where the first Gaudiya Mat was? Huh?
Kolkata.
Yes, in Calcutta. And it gradually became known as Bhaktivinoda Asana. And then the first Gaudiya Mat was established at that time. So, at the request of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Shishir Kumar Ghosh, Saraswati Thakur had been working on the compilation of a Vaishnava encyclopedia. Did you know that? He was working for many, many years on a Vaishnava encyclopedia, for which he had visited Purushottam Dham and various places of South India and Gauda Mandala since 1900, and he collected necessary information. So in October of 1920, 20 years later, he came to Kashim Bazar, and at the invitation of Maharaj Sir Manindra Chandra Nandi Bahadur, to whom he described the scope of the Vaishnava encyclopedia. And that Maharaj agreed to donate a monthly stipend for the publication of the encyclopedia, but in the end he was unable to fulfill his commitments. So Saraswati Thakur left Kashim Bazar, and he went with his party to Saidabad, Nawalis Para, Keturi. You know Keturi? That's where Narottam Das Thakur had the big festival, Keturi Gram. You heard about that? That he had the big Kirtan festival after Mahaprabhu departed, Narottam Das Thakur, and so many associates of Mahaprabhu who were still living, they all came to that festival. And in that festival, Narottam and many, many of the other Vaishnavas, Narottam came in the middle of the assembly, in Keturi Gram, that village, that's where he's from, Narottam Das Thakur. And he began to sing. And Narottam Das Thakur's singing was so incredible. Everyone was so completely moved. And everyone began weeping because he was singing about Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu had just left the planet, and now he's singing, and these are all associates of him, and they're all in extreme separation. Even those who had never seen Mahaprabhu were in such separation mood. And the intensity of the kirtan just kept rising and rising. And finally, when Narottam Das Thakur reached this crescendo, you know what happened? Mahaprabhu appeared with his associates dancing right there in the middle of that assembly. Yes. Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. So Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he went to all these different places. There's so many little sections here, how he went to this Shripat of this associate of Mahaprabhu in Gauda Mandala, you know, even in Kshetra Mandala. He went to so many places all throughout his life. So, then the Purushottam Mat, according to Veda Vyas, you know, this is a very famous quotation. It's very short. Utkale Purushottamat. Hyutkale Purushottamat. You can say Hyutkale, Hyutkale, Hyutkale Purushottamat. Purushottamat. What is Purushottam? Purushottam Dham, Jagannath Puri, okay? And that whole area, that is called Purushottam. So this message is there in the Vedas, which according to Veda Vyas, who wrote this, he said the pure message of the Vaishnava religion would spread out of Jagannath Puri. It would come from there. So who took birth in Jagannath Puri? Yes. So in order to do honor to this prediction, Saraswati Thakur established the Sri Purushottam Mat at Bhakti Kuti on June 9th, 1922, installing a deity of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Then, in the spirit of Mahaprabhu, he and his followers participated in the cleaning of Gundicha before the Rath Yatra, and they did the parikrama of Jagannath Puri, and they went to Alanath during Jagannath Dev's Anavasara period, during which he does not give darshan. Like Mahaprabhu would do, they also did. And he established an annual memorial festival at the Purushottam Mat in honor of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Gadadhar Pandit Goswami. He also sent disciples to Katak, Baripada, Kuamara, Udala, Kaptipada, Nilgiri, etc. to preach Mahaprabhu's gospel of pure devotion. So on August 19th, 1922, the monthly magazine of the Gaudiya Mat, the Gaudiya, it was published for the first time from the Bhagwat press. So like this, then I'm going to summarize somewhat now because I wanted to read one section at the end, which are his final words before he departed from this world. He went to visit to Braj Mandala in 1922, and then he began to construct the temple that is now here at Chaitanya Mat. There was no temple before that, but in 1923, he began the work to construct the Chaitanya Mat temple. And he also, he was building it according to Saraswati Thakur's original idea of having deities of Guru, Gauranga and Radha Govinda installed in the main deity room, while placing images of the founders of the four sampradayas. So when you go there and you circumambulate that temple in the four corners, then you see Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Vishnu Swami, Nimbaditya, Nimbarka. So after preaching in West and in East Bengal, Saraswati Thakur returned again to Puri for the annual festival. And he was emulating the pastimes of Mahaprabhu in separation from Krishna. He danced in front of the Ratha Yatra cart. He also preached to large numbers of devotees, including Raj Maninda Chandra, Nandi, Shashi Mohan Goswami, Abhadrak, etc. He sent preachers to Mayurbhanj, Madras Presidency, to spread Mahaprabhu's gospel, and himself he took a party of devotees to Amalajora in Burdwan, and then to Banari Para in Barisal district. So, like you see, names of all the places, names of the people. It's all throughout this whole section. Then on February 24th, in 1924, on the Titi that was commemorating the 50th anniversary of Saraswati Thakur's appearance in the world, the first Vyas Puja in his honor was held at the Calcutta Sri Gaudiya Math. So the speech that he gave on that occasion stands as an immortal jewel in the history of Vaishnav literature. I was thinking, I have to get a hold of that speech. I don't exactly know, because I've read one speech. I don't know if it was that very one that he spoke, but I want to read that. So then, not long after this first Vyasa Puja, on the occasion of Mahaprabhu's appearance day, then the first edition of the Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat was published from the Sri Madhva Gaudiya Math in Dhaka. So now I'll just read some of the titles. The Tridandi Math he established, and the Saraswat Asan. Then Varanasi Hindu University, he preached there. Pilgrimage throughout Gaura Mandala. Then Madan Mohan Malaviya, he preached to him. Bhagwat Janananda Math. Traveling and preaching throughout India. Then the Harmonist magazine. Then Kurukshetra for the solar eclipse. Opening of the Ekayana Math. A speech in the Krishnanagar town hall. Then shrines of Mahaprabhu's footprints, all throughout, 64. All throughout India. Shrines established. Wherever Mahaprabhu went to 64 places, they're still existing today. He established those signs of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet in marble. Yes, then Mayapur post office was established. But he helped that to become established. Then Maha Mahopadaya Hara Prasad Shastri, yes, another great personality. Exhibition in Sri Dham Mayapur. These are the exhibitions. He did a lot of these exhibitions. There's about 15 listed in different locations. And they were like dioramas, diorama exhibitions of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. And especially in Kurukshetra, they did the separation mood of Radha and Krishna that was being felt by who? In Kurukshetra, during Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's Leela, when he was already in Dwarka, then everyone came there for the solar eclipse, right? And then, at that time, Krishna again met the gopis. And their moods, and Srimati Radhika's mood, was what? That we're not happy here. You're here as a king. You're here with all these horses and chariots and soldiers and everything. And you're dressed as a royal king. But we want to see you again in Vrindavan, in your beautiful cowherd boy dress. They began to describe how beautiful, with his beautiful lotus eyes and his peacock feather in his turban and beautiful flower garlands and playing and jumping and dancing and all. We want to see you there. So that is the beginning of the mood of Rath Yatra. Because the gopis, at that time, they vowed in their hearts, we are going to bring you back on the chariot of our hearts, O Krishna. And you're going to come back to Vrindavan. So in that way, very beautiful exhibits were arranged of these dioramas to show all these beautiful pastimes. Then the Bhakti Vinod Institute, which is right over here. Yeah, he established. And the Spiritual Education Exhibition in Calcutta. Then the Hindi magazine, Bhagavat, Hindi, now expanding to Hindi language. Preaching in Madras. Gorkishore Das's Samadhi is transferred. We talked about that the other day. And here they actually tell where it was before that. You were asking where it was on the other side. But it was transferred. But they don't tell the details of who made the arrangements, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was not here. But he gave the instructions that should be brought to Chaitanya Math It should be brought across the river, across the Ganga. So who did that incredible feat? Do you know?
Bhakti Pragya Mahesh.
Yes, yes. He arranged for, for the entire samadhi, all the way 10 feet down, to be lifted up onto bullock carts that were tied together, to be brought to the Ganga, then somehow or other placed on the boats tied together on the Ganga, brought across to the other side, and finally brought to Chaitanya Mat.
In the nighttime? Or?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say exactly what was the time, but just imagine. I mean, no cranes, no facilities like that, but he did it. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada was so pleased that because it was the danger was coming from the Ganga, that the Ganga was going to flood and completely destroy the samadhi. So that's why he instructed them, you must bring it to Chaitanya Mat. So there it is, right next to Radha Kunda. All right, so I can't go through the rest of these. There's also some mention here about how he sent preachers to London, to England. And there were 3 actually. It wasn't just Ban Maharaj on his own, there were 3. And then there was a 4th preacher who came just before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati left his body. He hadn't taken sannyas yet, but he became known as Bhakti Saranga Goswami Maharaj. And he preached there. And even when he heard the news that Prabhupada had left this world, he remained there preaching. Imagine such. So like that, so now, so there is an intimation by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that he would depart. So on October 24th, this is 1936, at the end of 1936, he left for Puri. And on November 1st, Saraswati Thakur's dear disciple Tridandi Swami Bhakti Sri Rup Puri Maharaj left this world. So while he was there at Chatak Parvat, in Puri, Puri's non-different manifestation of Govardhan Hill, then he celebrated the appearance of Madhvacharya, and he performed Govardhan Puja, which he performed with the hymns composed by Rupa and Raghunath Goswamis, and he also observed a festival of separation from his dear Lord, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And each day his disciples and guests were refreshed after bathing in the holy waters of his discourse. So while in Puri, he constantly warned everyone. Here was his warning. Worship the Lord without duplicity, for not much time is left. He constantly repeated these few lines written by Rupa and Raghunath Goswami, like Nija Nikata Nivasam Dehi Govardhanatvam Pratyasam Me Tvam Kuru Govardhana Puranam. So now is the section I wanted to read to you, his final instructions. On December 23rd, 1936, a few days prior to the setting of the blazing sun of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur spoke to a gathering of his disciples in the morning, at which time he said the following words. Now, you listen to these ambrosial words and the essence of all of his instructions. He said in the morning, on final day, I have given trouble to many persons, as I have been compelled to speak the undeceitful truth, and I have urged persons to worship Sri Hari sincerely without deceitfulness. So many persons may even have considered me to be their enemy. By inspiring them to be eagerly devoted to Sri Krishna sincerely, without ulterior desires and deceitfulness, they will, someday, they will be able to understand why I have given trouble to them. All should propagate the teachings of Rupa Raghunath with great enthusiasm. The ultimate object of our desires is to become what? Specks of dust at the lotus feet of who? No, the followers of Sri Rupa Goswami. Become specks of dust at the feet of the Rupanuga Acharyas, the followers of Rupa Goswami. Remain united. He's talking to all of his disciples. Remain united in following the Ashraya Vigraha in order to satisfy the transcendental senses of the one non-dual supreme truth. Make your way through this impermanent transitory life in whatever way you can. Make your way through this life, impermanent life, but keeping the goal of worshiping the Lord foremost in your minds. Don't abandon this goal even in the face of hundreds of dangers, hundreds of insults, or persecutions. Don't lose your spirit if you see that the majority of people cannot accept the principles of selfless service to the Supreme Lord. Never abandon your bhajan, hearing and chanting Krishna Katha, which is the be-all and the end-all of all your devotional life. Please always chant the name of the Lord, being humbler than a blade of grass and more tolerant than a tree. This body is like the aging cow, which in ancient times was meant to be offered up in sacrifice. So this body, like the cow, was offered in sacrifice. This body is meant for that. Only we desire to offer the body to Krishna in the sacrifice of the holy name established by Sri Krishna Chaitanya and his associates. We do not seek to become heroes, performing great works or religious deeds. Our true being and our identity is that of a speck of dust at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Prabhu, life after life. The stream which flows from Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, it will never be dammed up. Remember this and vow to double your efforts to fulfill Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's desires. Amongst you are many capable and worthy individuals. We seek nothing for ourselves. Our only motto is what? Adadanas trinandam tayar idam yache punak punak Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulisyam Janma Janmani. This is Raghunath Das Goswami. He's praying this. That means taking grass between my teeth. I pray repeatedly that I may become a speck of dust at Sri Rupa Goswami's lotus feet, birth after birth. So while living in this world, we encounter many difficulties, but there is no need for us to be bewildered by these difficulties. No need to be bewildered by these difficulties. Why is there no need to be bewildered by these difficulties? There's no need for us to make any effort to remove them. What is necessary for us while we are still here is to learn what will remain after we have removed all those difficulties. What will be the nature of our eternal life? That is what we should be absorbed in. There are so many things which we want or we don't want. Isn't there? Everybody has their list, conscious and unconscious list. So many things that we want and also things that we don't want. Yes? Right? But we have to come to terms with this duality of attractions and repulsions. We have to come to terms. The more we distance ourselves from Krishna's lotus feet, then the more these things will draw us in. we can only begin to comprehend. We can only begin to comprehend the exquisite taste of service to Krishna's lotus feet. Exquisite taste of service to Krishna's lotus feet. Can you imagine what that must taste like? Huh? After, we can only begin to comprehend the exquisite taste of service to Krishna's lotus feet after transcending these worldly attractions and repulsions, and after being attracted by His holy name. The doctrines of Krishna Bhakti seem startling at first, perhaps even perplexing. The doctrines of Krishna Bhakti. Knowingly or unknowingly, every human being is struggling to eliminate the adventitious elements in life which interfere with his direct experience of eternal fulfillment. Every human being. Our only obligation is to go beyond duality and to enter the world of that eternal fulfillment. We have no attachment for anyone in this world, nor we have no hostility toward anyone in this world. Whatever arrangements we make in this world, they will last but a moment. Whatever arrangements, they only last a moment. So, but the need, while we are trying to do this, the need to search out the supreme fulfillment is equally unavoidable for everyone. Everyone. May all of you work united and in harmony toward the same goal. To earn the right to serve the root ashraya vigraha. May the current of ideas propagated by Sri Rupa Goswami flow throughout the world. May we never under any circumstances become indifferent to the seven-tongued sacrificial flame of the holy name. If our attraction to it remains ever increasing, then we will achieve all perfection. Again, I'm reading that. May we never under any circumstance become indifferent to the seven-tongued sacrificial flame of the holy name. Why is it called seven-tongued? Do you know? You don't know? Huh? Yes. There are 7 effects in the Sikshastakam. And the first shloka tells all 7 of them. What's the first shloka? Everyone say with me. Marjanam Bhavamahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnam Ritasvadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna. What? Shri Krishna? Again? Param Vijayate, supreme victory. This is what Prabhupada is trying to tell in his final message to all of us in the future and all of his disciples who are with him at that moment. Never become indifferent to the seven-tongued sacrificial flame of the holy name. If our attraction to it, to the holy name, remains always increasing, then we will achieve all perfection. That's how it will happen for us. Our attraction to the holy name. Then, if it increases and increases, we will achieve all perfection. So remain one-pointedly faithful to Sri Rupa Goswami's followers and preach Rupa Raghunath's message enthusiastically and fearlessly. So that's his final statements to his disciples on the day just before. His departure was the next morning, early morning, at around 4 a.m. So there's a little tiny couple of paragraphs here. On the day of his entering into eternal pastimes. So in the morning of the day on which he disappeared, Srila Prabhupada asked Tridandi Swami Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj to sing. To sing what? Narottam Das Thakur's song Sri Rupa Manjari Pada. And also there was another devotee he asked to sing, Shripad Naveen Krishna Vidyalankar Prabhu. He asked him to sing the song Tuhun Doya Sagara Tarayite Prani. This is from Bhaktivinoda Thakur's translation of the second verse of the Sikshastakam. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote songs for each verse of the Sikshastakam. Prabhupada expressed satisfaction and thanks to Sri Bhakti Sudhakar Prabhu, who was actually Professor Nishikanta Sanyal, for his service. And he also told Patna's Sri Vrajeshwari Prasad Prabhu to remain enthusiastic in his service. So one thing about that song, when he asked Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj to sing it, Srila Sridhar Maharaj was generally not the one of the devotees who was always leading kirtans like that. But there was one who was right there, who had extremely beautiful, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta loved his singing. At that time he was still brahmachari, and later he became Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. So what happened was Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he began to sing, because Prabhupada had requested him to sing. So he began to sing, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, Se Mora Sampada, Se Mor Bhajana Pujan, Se Mor Bhajana Pujan. We began to sing, but a little hesitation was there. And so therefore the devotees thought, we should, this other brahmachari, what was his name? Huh? Pranava. Yes, Pranava Ananda. So they kind of stopped Sridhar Maharaj from singing and suggested that he should sing. He began singing. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati stopped. He said, I do not want to hear the beautiful melody and voice. I want to hear Sridhar Maharaj sing. Then, when he began to sing again and sang the whole song, all the devotees in the room felt the same thing. They all talked about it after that incident. And they felt like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was granting entrance into the kunja of Radha and Krishna. So when they told that to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he didn't feel that he was worthy of that. He said, I cannot see that he was doing that. But he placed me as the guardian outside of the kunja. And that's why he's named Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, the protector of bhakti. Yes. So like that, then at 4 o'clock, about at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, then he called Sri Sakhi Charan Rai Bhakti Vijay to tell him that he was very fortunate because of the service that he had rendered to Sri Mayapur. Then later in the afternoon, Prabhupada said to Sri Bhakti Vivek Bharati Maharaj, you are a competent person. Take care of the mission. It is good to have a single and specific purpose for love of Godhead. Narottam Das Thakur adopted Rupa and Raghunath's understanding. It is best if we live according to that understanding. This is what he told to that Vaishnava. Then Srila Prabhupada said to everyone, this is in the late afternoon, I give my blessings to all who are present here and to those who are absent. Remember always that our only duty and religion is to propagate the service of the Bhagavat of Bhagavan. Then at about 5:30 a.m. of the following day, Thursday, January 1st, 1937, on Krishna Chaturthi, Srila Prabhupada entered the eternal abode, joining Sri Radha Govinda in the pre-dawn pastimes Nishanta Leela. At the end of every night, Sri Radha Krishna lie intertwined in an embrace, becoming as one body. And it is at this moment when their united form of Sri Gaur Sundar is eternally manifest. that Varshabhanavi Dayata Das, their servant, joined him. Namaste Guru Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarane Rupa Nuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvantaharane. Obeisances to you who are the embodiment of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's gospel, the deliverer of the fallen and the destroyer of the darkness of unorthodox doctrines which oppose the conclusions given by Sri Rupa Goswami and his followers. Then there was an announcement that was printed in the Gaudiya magazine about the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, and this will be the last thing that I'm reading. Oh no, there's a little bit more. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but just in the beginning, it says, last Narayan 4th, 450 of the Chaitanya era, at the end of the Thursday night, Pausha 1343 of the Bengali calendar, on Friday morning, January 1st, 1937, Paramahansa Paribrajakacharya Om Vishnupad Shri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada joined his eternal service in the pre-dawn pastimes, Nishanta Leela of Sri Radha Govinda. This is the same hour that his own Gurudev, Om Vishnupad Shri Srila Gorkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, entered into Nitya Leela. Prabhupada was the great Acharya of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya and its only protector, the ninth in descent from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the best of the followers of Sri Swarup Damodar and Sri Rupa Goswami. What is the meaning of entering into eternal pastimes, Nitya Leela? At this hour, it is understood clearly by those who are intimate with him, for it is directly experienced in their hearts, but a hint based on the words of realized souls is being given here. At the end of the night, Sri Sri Radha Govinda are locked in a divine unbreakable embrace. Gadha Lingana Nirbedam Apto. Jayadev Goswami has indicated this situation with the word Naktam in the first verse of Gita Govinda, which means Megair Meduram Ambaram. When Sri Radha Govinda are joined together like this, they take on their combined form of Sri Gaur Sundar. It is this auspicious moment that Sri Barsabhanavi Dayata Das Prabhu chose to make his entry into their pastimes. Srila Prabhupada is like the son of the Gaudiya Sampradaya, as he is identical with its acharyas Sri Rupa, Sri Sarup Damodar. But now that this son of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya has set, darkness has descended not only on the preachers in the sky of the Gaudiya lineage, but on the entire world. It seems that the direct light of unadulterated devotion will once again be hidden from the view of the world's people. Our only hope is that the luminary amongst spiritual teachers sufficiently inspired his sincere followers with such an unparalleled desire to serve the lotus feet of the Lord Adhokshaja, and with such ever-fresh enthusiasm, and instilled in them such paramount and rare ideals of practice and preaching. Our hope is that the stream which passed through Sri Swarup and Sri Rupa, and then through Bhaktivinoda Thakur, will only continue to gather more force and flow into the world. In our hearts, we consider nothing else to be possible, even in our worst imaginings. So from the blessings that he gave just before entering into his eternal service, we know that by adhering faithfully to his teachings and propagating them, we will be able to get his direct personal association, and we will be able to find all the strength we need. And furthermore, by preaching fearlessly, without any expectation, and with the force of character that comes of sincere service and fidelity, we will be able to practice and preach the gospel of Sri Gaur Sundar, our Master's Master, throughout the world. By so doing, we are assured that his blessings will continue to rain down on us even more profusely. This faith is the sole lamp post illuminating the path of pure devotion, which is strewn with countless obstacles. So we, the Gaudiya's writers, are today without any shelter, as we will no longer be able to show our articles to him who was the preserver of Swarup Damodar and Rupa Goswami's devotional doctrines. Srila Prabhupada would eagerly read every article which was to be published in the Gaudiya. He would give us blessings. He would show the deepest satisfaction with our efforts. Now, even though we will no longer be able to experience this directly, we will not be entirely devoid of his blessings, nor of the spiritual strength arising from his mercy. We are not without Sakor, for he left us the gift of service to those who know the doctrines of pure devotion as taught by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and hence we are not deprived of his eternal blessings and mercy. Srila Prabhupada wrote the following words in Sajan Toshini after the disappearance of Om Vishnupad Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Here's a quote from Prabhupada. The purpose of the Sajan Toshini remains unchanged. Thakur Mahashai has entered the Nitya Leela, but by his blessings, this magazine will continue to bring joy to the pious through Harikatha just as before. Some think that accepting the opinion of the material sensualists that the path of bhakti is advanced by eliminating the idea of pure devotion. Others tarnish pure devotion's beauty by accepting the facile path of the materialistic devotees as the standard. But Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung in his Kalyana Kalpataru. Bhakti badha jaha hate sevidyara mastakete pada ghata koro akoitava Saraswati Krishna Priya Krishna Bhaktir Tarhiya Vinodera se vaibhav. The translation is fearlessly stomp on any learning which causes obstacles on the path of devotion. The goddess Saraswati is dear to Krishna, and her heart is full of devotion to the Lord. Such devotion is my wealth and my glory. So Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Sriman Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they can condone neither any words which contradict devotional service, nor any which compromise with it. This we have always experienced is the matchless characteristic of these teachings. Sri Chaitanya Saraswati, Srila Prabhupada, who is most dear to Krishna, as Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's wealth is the expansion of the lotus feet of the original Ashraya Vigraha Srimati Radharani. The daughter of Rishabhanu has expanded as Mahaprabhu's gospel, Gauravani, through Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So thus, service to Gaura's teachings is identical with the service of Radha Govinda in obedience to the Guru, and with service to Sri Gopi Gopinath in compliance with Sri Rupa Manjari. Srila Prabhupada has shown the path of the bower, where Sri Gauranga of Sri Bhaktivinoda Thakur's teachings resides, and illuminated it by the lamp of devotion to the ears of eternally conditioned souls like us, and has revealed the order of Gaur Saraswati, the goddess of learning. Be the servant of Sri Sarup Damodar and Sri Rupa Goswami's followers, and always chant the holy name. We pray to remain constantly dedicated to the glorification of that abode of virtue, Gauranga, who is Krishna himself residing in that message bower. Bower means kunja. With single-minded commitment and great gusto. On this day we pray to all the Vaishnavas who are obedient to the preceptors in the line of Sri Sarup Damodar and Sri Rupa Goswami for this blessing. So, this is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's incredible life. You've only heard a few snippets of it, but there are also in our songbook, and also here, there is a list of 36 different little concise teachings. I'll read 2 or 3 of those right now, and then we'll complete today's katha. So, the first one, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has revealed our supreme worshipful object in his Sikshastakam. Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Samkirtanam. That is the worshipful object of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Number 2, only Krishna, the object of devotion, the Vishaya Vigraha, only he is the enjoyer. He is the bhogi. Everyone else is the enjoyed, the bhogya. Everyone but the worshipper of Hari is a suicidal fool. Everyone But the worshipper of Hari is a suicidal fool. If someone doesn't worship Krishna, that's his status. He's committing suicide and he's totally ignorant fool. If someone does not worship Hari in this human form of life. One of the mutt's residents' chief duties. That means anyone who's living in the mutt, associated with the mutt, or the Krishna movement, or anything. What is one of their chief duties? It is to learn tolerance. Because if you don't learn tolerance, you cannot chant the name of Krishna. Can you? Who told that you can't? In what verse did Mahaprabhu tell us that if you don't learn tolerance, you cannot chant the name of Krishna? Shrunadapi sunichena torodapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. So kirtaniya sadahari, what does it mean? It means always chant the pure name of Hari. With these four instructions. Considering ourselves to be lower than what? Trinad api. Lower than a blade of grass or a piece of straw lying in the street. This is essential. If we have any false ego, we cannot chant the pure name of Krishna. So therefore, the symptom of someone who is advancing in their quest to attain Shuddha Bhakti in this life, they will definitely develop this conception of their own self. Not without that they are only lower than a blade of grass. Not even equal to a blade of grass. You know why? Because in one explanation, a blade of grass, a green blade of grass, when you step on it, what happens? It starts to pop up a little again, right? But this is lower than a blade of grass, okay? Second instruction of Mahaprabhu. Api. What does Sahishnuna mean? Tolerant. This is what Prabhupada is telling here. This is the main behavior of a resident of any mutt or movement. If they want to live this lifestyle, they must learn how to tolerate. Yes. Tolerant more than what? Why does he use the example of a tree? You all know, you've all heard many times throughout your lives. What is the nature of the tree? The nature of the tree is it never complains. Does it? Did you ever hear a tree talking back when you're trying to cut the tree down? No, never. But at the same time that it never complains, it tolerates everything. What does it also do? It gives. It provides everything to everyone. Whether it's the fruits, the leaves, the branches, the whole tree, whatever it may be, it provides, you see. And then comes the last two instructions. These are very important. It's a hard ones to follow. All of these are hard ones to follow if what? If we're all caught up in what we've already heard him tell about, your likes, your dislikes, your this, your that, okay? Then it's hard to follow. But if we follow the actual instruction to do Sharanagati, then it becomes easy to follow. It becomes easy. Sharanagati is the stepping stone. Don't think that you're going to just jump and one day you're going to wake up in bed, I've reached Uttama Bhakti. No, it doesn't happen like that. Gradual advancement, you see. So, we should not desire any respect for ourselves. That's a big one. We don't like to be disrespected. And then we also should offer respect to all according to their deserving and their respective positions. Yeah, their adhikar. Respect to all. Even the insects. Even the ants crawling on the ground. Huh? Even the animals in the forest, the birds, all species, we offer them respect, do we not? Because we don't try to kill them. But those who kill them, and especially the cow, they're in for some real heavy punishment. And that's why a few billion people are going to leave this planet very soon. Because Prabhupada told, you killed billions and billions of cows, so war must come. But that's going to be arranged by Mahaprabhu, so that the demons remove the demons.
Yes.
In Bhagavatam it has the example of a thorn, you know.
Yeah.
If you step on a thorn and it goes into your foot, then you need something sharp to kind of like dig it out from your foot. And what is that? The other thorn. So a thorn is used to remove a thorn. So the demons will remove the demons. That will take place. So, the followers of Rupa Goswami, they do not place their faith in their own powers, but rather they attribute all glory to the fountainhead of those powers. So now I'm going to finish, and just to say that, you know, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he is the Jagat Guru for all of the devotees, and into the future everyone will realize this. And also, his servant became known by his name. Why? Because he wanted that his Guru name would become known throughout the world, the name of Prabhupada. So therefore he also accepted Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And he told that when they are singing Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, he said, I never think that they are singing about me. They are singing my Guru's name. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Tirobhav Mahamahotsav Titi Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Nityananda Mahajan Ki Jai. Shri Pancha Tattva Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
His Holiness Padmanabha
All glory to the assembled devotees. So the program is scheduled to go till 8. Now it's just a couple of minutes after 7. Now, are we going to do a Guru Puja? Has that been planned or what? A Guru Puja or... Is it set up already or not?
I have flower.
Okay, but it, like RT, that you don't have that set up. You do have it. Okay. So Jiva should do? Okay. So we'll stand, sing Shri Guru Charana Padma, and after the Kirtan, after the Guru Puja, there will be a very nice feast, Patpuri feast. You know Patpuri? Everyone brings something. Okay.